You don't have to suffer first before you come to yourself. Because the father of the prodigal son had more than enough. Nigeria has more than enough for you. There is prosperity in this land. There is money. In Lagos, there is money. Go to Abuja. Go and see. When people tell you about poverty, say, what's so called? And you will be part of that prosperity in Jesus' name. But you have to be willing to learn. I don't know of anybody who is complete. There is something each and all of us has to learn on a daily basis. If you are open to it, you will even be greater than what you ever envisaged. Because everybody hopefully has an expectation. And in Proverbs 23 verse 18, the Bible says, surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be aborted. Everyone has you should have expectation. And when you have the expectation, what do? If God reveals to you what you are going to become, what do? Fold your hands? Begin to misbehave? Or you want to use God? Many of us want to use God. We will jump into sin one moment. We will disobey him another moment. And when there is a need in our lives, we suddenly remember that God is there. Father, you have to answer me. You cannot use God. It's only 2 Peter 3 verse 8. It talks about him, 8-9. He is only long-suffering towards us, not wishing that any should perish. So if you are smart, Absalomic smartness, and you don't fear God, you can only get thus far. Organizations are looking for solutions providers, not prayer points. Not the one that the moment you join, they say that brilliant person has joined our organization. Within a week, you will manifest, and then they begin to pray. Father, you are the one that brought him here, but you just have to remove him. Well, however, your brilliance is no more the issue. You have become a problem because of a deficit in character or something like that. There's no place you will walk where you will misbehave. In fact, Isaiah 1:19 says, those who are willing and obedient will eat the good of the land. Not the recalcitrants, not the problematic figures. So you are in for a swell time. This is only a continuation of what we've been trying to do for you. God using us to do for you in the last 4 years. Never forget the deposits that God has made in you while in Caleb University. Some of you may not value it now, but later you will remember and say, okay, this is what they were saying then. God bless you. Welcome, everybody.
Another round of applause for our own university CEO. Thank you very much, sir. Before I invite the next speaker, I would like to recognize and appreciate the following representatives of our distinguished organization. Let the honor continue, okay? Mr. Ebenezer Odunlami, the lead talent manager for Ride Foods Limited. Mr. Dare Durosimi, I hope I got that, the head of marketing, Lagos Traffic Radio. The manager and recruitment and onboarding for MTN Nigeria, Mr. Ibitola Shomide. The general manager for Bank of Industry, Dr. Omage Ida Emmanuel. And this person, I purposely reserve it for the last, not because it's the last, He came in at exactly 9:00 a.m. this morning. He is the managing director for Credital, Mr. Adams Abiodun. Going on, I will invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation, Strategy and Administration for personal branding and work-life balance. Join me to welcome Professor Olalekan Asikia.
The Vice Chancellor of Caleb University, the Librarian of the Great University of Caleb, the CEOs present, or their representatives, the glorious students of Caleb University. Put your hands together for yourself. This morning, I just quickly want to wet the ground for the CEOs to start speaking. And I believe that they are going to also gain a lot from what we are about to share. I'll be talking about work-life balance and personal branding. Our students, we have a lot to also get from this, and I hope to roll over this in a few minutes. Now, work-life balance is the equilibrium between personal life and professional responsibilities. Is the equilibrium between personal life and professional responsibilities. And this is very important to note. It ensures that neither personal life nor professional responsibilities should be neglected. As you start your journey, it is important to note that you cannot but take very seriously your professional responsibility. Professional responsibilities. If by any, we have had people who collapse at work, who well dressed from home, but couldn't finish the day at work. And why? Because they didn't take care of their personal life. So both your personal life and your professional responsibilities are very important. Now, what is the importance, or what are the importance of the work-life balance? First, it prevents burnout. When you are burnt out, if you love your work, it's good to love your work. I'm sure most of the CEOs here, we want you to love your work. They will want you to work and work and work and work and work. But at the same time, if you all the time, I need to prepare your heart. As graduates coming into organization newly, you may not have the 8 hours of sleep all the time. But the truth of the matter is, whenever you're free to have these 8 hours, you must make sure you have it. Otherwise, you will not be who you ought to be at work. You will have a problem. You will not be who you ought to be at work. I want you to celebrate our keynote speaker. While speaking, he walked in. Our keynote speaker, Senator Ogunlewe. Put your hands together for him. Put your hands together. Now, what are the personal factors that are critical that will make you to work well? we have, number one, family factors. Your family factors. Some of you ladies, beautiful looking graduates, you're going to get married. You're going to have children. And of course, when you have children, you have your husband, you have a family. And you must take care of them. I work in the bank. It's not sufficient for you to lose your home. Okay? I work in the oil company. It's not sufficient for you to lose your home. Show me a woman who is respected within the society, and I will present the woman who kept her home and also kept her job. Okay? So what that means is that you don't lose one for another. A growing lady once saw a mother who became a single mother because of the profession. And the way she was going, the mother found out that she was going to be like her. One day in the middle of the night, the mother woke her up and said, listen to me. I'm a single mother. I've sent you to the best university. I've lost my husband because of my profession, but I'm not enjoying it. Why? The society has placed a scar on me. As much as they respect me because I have the best cars and I have the best personality, but yet they disrespect me because I have no home. So I want to tell you, the work-life balance is critical. Even though there is women liberation everywhere, they talk about it, but it's not the best for any society. Do the best you can as you are going into the world of work. Do the best you can to keep your home as a woman. And as a man, do the best you can. Respect your home. The fact that you are in the world of work does not mean you should neglect your family. The family you neglect today, you won't get to meet it tomorrow. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because the husband who lost grip of the home, okay, that husband, you know, that reminds me of a story of a man who worked all his years out. On the day he was going, they put toilet roll together. I don't know how they call it. They put the toilet roll on his neck, and people started clapping with some kind of wood. They call it plaque. Wood here, and he packed everything home. But by the time he got home, there was no home. Why? The firstborn is already a drug addict. The wife is already out of the house. So, work-life balance is critical. And we're telling you now that you need to know it. Okay? Then, your health and wellness is maintained. I don't know where cancer normally comes from. You see somebody today looking healthy. See him tomorrow. He's down with cancer. And I say, what is the cause? What are the issues about life that we are yet to explain? And one of the explanations that people give, they say it is because he has gone through so many stress. So his immune defense was weak. And because it was weak, anything that struck the body entered the body and began to harm the body. So these are the things you need to take note of. I want you to work 24/7. I work till 2 a.m. most of the time. But the truth of the matter is that I try to take my little hours of sleep. 6 hours maybe in the night and 2 hours if I have the chance during the day. You need the body to do the responsibility. Then, now, so the professional factors, workload and hours. Workload and hours. I don't want you to grow into employees that will be given reasons for not finishing a job assignment. Please, we have not trained you like that. If there is a need for you to work and work and work and work and work and work to deliver, Please walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and deliver. However, you must take note that as you have worked hard, your body will need some rest. And you must try as much as possible to cultivate a working culture. Someone who takes responsibility, who accepts responsibilities, and who is ready to execute responsibility. Don't be someone who gives excuses. But what we're saying is that your life is your life. And when your life is gone, the responsibility will go to bed. Then, these are the factors affecting work-life balance. And what are the strategies for achieving work-life balance? Number one, prioritizing your task. Yes, you will be given so many tasks. You need to prioritize. There are some of those tasks you could do in a weekend. Okay? And there are some of the tasks that you want to do now. Those ones that you want to do now because they are very important and they are critical for you to execute. And so you can go ahead. The moment you are given tasks, try to prioritize them. Put them in order of preference and begin to execute them. Those ones that are urgent, treat them urgently and work over it. And those ones that are not too urgent, you could do them on a weekend. Then, setting realistic deadlines. We normally call it lifelines because they are not dead. Realistic deadlines. What you cannot finish in 2 hours. Don't tell the person to come back in 5 minutes. You will be under stress. And when you are under stress, the moment you lose one of the train of what you're doing, you lose all. And when you lose your head, you have lost everything. Which means you will do things wrong. Okay? Then set boundaries. Set boundaries. Clear distinction between work and personal life. Clear distinction between work and personal life. Set boundaries. My wife will never allow me to take some blue things home. What are the blue things? To the glory of God, I happen to be one of the few professors who had supervised 95 doctoral students and graduated them. 95. Highest in Africa. Highest in Africa. Now, what do I normally do? I will take some of these doctoral theses, I will take them home. Some of these doctoral theses are about 528 pages. I will start reading. I will read in the day and read in the night. So, when they were saying, who were the people that would need counseling for their home? My wife queued up. Say, madam, you are the wife of our... Say, yes, I need counseling. My husband has brought a rival home. And what are the rivals? The PhD thesis. Because I do not have time for my home again. So what am I trying to tell you? You need to balance it. You need to balance it. There are things you don't need to do. There are things you don't take home to do. Finish all work. But when you are still single, take them home. But the moment you get married, take care of your family. And of course, take care of your health. Then, self-care. Self-care is one thing that most professionals and executives, they don't do. You know, self-care helps you to also look good. Because now you know the need to take care of yourself. If there is a need for you to give yourself a treat, give yourself a treat. And it is not all the time that treats are expensive. At times, the treat you need to give yourself is to sleep. The treat you need to give yourself is to just relax. The treat you need to give yourself is to get somebody to massage your legs and all of that. Those are the treats you need to give yourself. Give yourself a treat. Then, another one is relaxation and hobbies. Play table tennis, play lawn tennis, play football, but don't break your legs, and make sure you relax. Relax with your children. Play around with them. Play around with your family. Play with mommy and daddy. Now that you're still with mommy and daddy, play with them. Let them feel you. Don't be someone that just start working and yet nobody is seeing you again. You are always coming late and you are just closing your door against everyone. Be careful. Still be a family person. There is this need for familyness, because when there is no job, the family remains. Then next one, the role of employers in work-life balance. Flexible work arrangement. Thank God for COVID. COVID made employers to know that people could work at home. And when you work at home, when you work from home, you see that you don't feel like you are working. You just feel like you are doing something and you are just enjoying yourself. So, flexible work arrangements, then also flexible hours. Most of the companies these days, they talk about flexible hours. The hours they will want you to be at work and the hours you will stay at home. So you need to know the kind of company you want to work with and what are the policies that they have to support your work-life balance. Parental leave. Recently, the Vice Chancellor announced to us that there is going to be paternal leave. But unfortunately, some of us that we are not giving back again, we weren't qualified. And how many days is the paternal leave? I thought it was going to be 2 weeks. He said it's only 2 days. And everybody said, that's not a leave. It's a weekend. Now, wellness program is important. Wellness program is important. You need to join a gym. Join somewhere you can go and relax and sweat and keep calm. Next slide. Now, personal branding. Personal branding. It is the practice of marketing yourself and your career as a brand, creating a unique professional identity. As you go into any of these companies, you need to know what is the color of the company. You need to know. The color of the company may dictate the color of your tie. Okay? When I was the director of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria in their CFS, Center for Financial Studies, on every Wednesdays, we put on green bow tie and poker chief. And our suits are always blue every Wednesday. Okay? You need to know the color of the company. And you need to play around with it all the time, representing the company, particularly when you're going out for an occasion. And you need to be majestic in the way you walk, in the way you talk, in the way there is a need for a personal branding that makes you to key in into what the company represents. Okay? Anybody seeing you is already seeing the company. So you have to be careful. Then what is the importance of your personal branding? It differentiates you from others. It differentiates you from others. As you are all looking good this morning, I pray you will continue to look good in Jesus' name. And you continue to represent your companies in the name of Jesus. Now, build trust. I'm still on trust. Build trust and credibility. Build trust and credibility, enhance your career opportunities. In other words, several years ago, a university vice chancellor saw me. I've been dressing like this for a very long time. A university vice chancellor saw me and looked at me and stopped and said, look, I was still young at that time. He said, look, I see you going places. And I asked him, what did you see? He said, I just saw you. The way you're looking, you cannot be lost in the crowd. Look good as not to be lost in the crowd. In your company, be unique. Even if everyone is dressing like a ruffian, don't dress like one. Even when your job is to carry things from one place to another. Dress well, look good, and feel good to everyone, so that you will be able to sell whatever your company is doing. Go on. As I bring it to a close, differentiates you. The personal branding will differentiate you from others. It will build credibility around you. It will enhance your career opportunities. And of course, there is a unique proposition that will fly around you. You will have a consistent image. All right? When you are fond of branding yourself in the light of your company, you need to integrate your company into it. What are the core values of your company? Of the company that you're working? Those core values, you must take them seriously. They must not be taken for levity. You must take them seriously and work within the core values of the company. When you do that, you will see that you will be an epitome of what the company is. And everybody will be proud of you. Forget your level. They will celebrate you. I say they will celebrate you. They will celebrate you. Now, as I bring it to a close, the slide, networking. It is easier to network when you are well branded. Okay? It is easier to network. Even if you want to keep your hair, don't let it be bushy. Don't let it look rough. Look good. Look trim. And every time anyone sees you, anything you want to do, do it with style. Do things with style. Don't be local. Oh, when you show me a local man, and I will present a man who has forgotten that the color of his suit is black and he's already wearing a yellow tie, a red handkerchief, and a green socks. Now, so look good, look great. Next one. Building your personal brand. Identify your brand. What is the brand of your company? Identify your life with the brand. The brand of every company is a life on its own. You must enter into that life. Okay? Develop your online presence. These ones that you put everything on your blog. Develop your online presence alongside with the company. Even if anybody is going to hire you tomorrow, they will be jealous of the way you have promoted the company you are representing. Okay? Go on. Next slide. And of course, your content creation. Any content you want to create must not negate the value of the company or what the company represents. Okay? You don't. Gone are the days now that you can follow anybody. You can't follow anybody again. You can only follow people who have values that represent your company. The company you are trying to join. Don't follow just anybody. You are not just anybody. The moment you enter a company, it is expected that the personality of the company should rub off on you. Okay? Shell was having a problem several years ago, and we were part of the consultants that were consulted, that were, consulting for them. And they told us, they said, we have a problem. We are brought in people whose personal identities are not aligned with the identity of the company. And so we began to check from what these persons represent. And we found out that there is a disparity between what they believe and the values they represent and the value that Shell represented. So and at that time, we had to tell Shell, you need to lay off this, lay off this, lay off this, lay off that. Okay? But we first and foremost recommended what we call interpersonal re-engineering strategy. That interpersonal re-engineering strategy, those of them that are scoring low on that strategy, they had to go. So be careful so that you don't lose your job as quickly as you got the job. Now, next slide. Align the brand. I've talked about this. Set realistic. Stay authentic. And that's where I'm going to end. Just stay authentic. Be authentic. Don't be fake. Even as much as you are trying to have a personal brand, don't be fake. Be real. Because anybody who is trying to touch you should touch your company. And thank you for listening. Because this time, I'll be expecting to celebrate you, having a balance between your life and your company, having a balance between you and your personal branding and what the company represents. Thank you. God bless you.
Let's keep clapping for the convener of Caleb University Employability Fair. That clap is not enough, please. Thank you very much, Prof. Sir. A great man walked in during that presentation. Her keynote speaker. I hope you are ready for that honor. He is a former Minister of Works and Housing. He is a top chieftain of All Progressive Congress. He is a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria who has invested a lot in research and education. He is a public administrator, a technocrat, and a former Lagos State head of service. He is a royalty from the royal family of Igbogbo.
Somebody who is representing government, I'm plead with you not to go on protest on Thursday. It doesn't serve any purpose. You can ask questions. You can be hungry. You can be hungry. But at the end of the day, dialogue is the only solution. You know the reason why I'm pleading? I'm not supposed to be here. You know we are in a very tough crisis in the country. And we are supposed to have a meeting at 11 o'clock. And I told myself, what do you think I should do? It's either I go for that meeting, Chancellor is to me. I decided to come and honor him and apologize to my other constituency. The second aspect is I was not the head of service. That was my brother, Shegun. I'm Sheye. I served in Lagos State government for 35 years. In fact, I employed him. But he was fortunate to be head of service, and I couldn't be head of service. That is life for you. Life is not a race. Life is about what God had ordained for you. As you are graduating, don't look at this opportunity as the end. It is just a beginning. It depends on the way you attract your life, the way you plan your life. That is what you are going to reap at the end of the day. I will come to the topic, but I have the opportunity of talking to you younger people. Don't mismanage your life by excessive drinking or smoking or going into very dangerous relationship with younger people. You will not notice it now. I am 80 years old. But I was privileged to have a very disciplined mother. In my days, we grew up in Lagos Island. I was born there. And the tendency around was people of very, very bad behavior. But you dare not take to that bad area. My mother will flog you. The person in the next house will flog you. The person in the 10th house will flog you. So there is no way you are going to misbehave and somebody somewhere would not notice you and beat you. So for us, we are lucky. We kept ourselves neat and clean. So the purpose of this message is for you to be careful about your early life. Your early life will determine what you are going to be when you are 60. You are not going to remain like this. You'll be 60, you'll be 70. Whatever you have done with your body when you are younger will reflect in your attitude when you grow older. Some people will die young. Some people will have cancer. Some people will have problems with their kidney. It's the way they have manipulated and overused their body in their youthful days. So I just want to share this experience with you. How can somebody be 80 years old and still be like this? It is a reflection of what you did with yourself when you are younger. If you are disciplined, if you are focused, you can grow and be more healthier even when you are 90. But if you misuse your body when you are younger, you will repeat when you are older. So let me come to my topic. As I said, I grew up in the civil service. I was a permanent secretary before I went to politics. And I was lucky I was elected as a senator. Then I was a minister of works and housing. But the most important part of my life was when I was the Pro-Chancellor of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. That gave me opportunity to interact with the younger ones, like you, with the management, with the university system. And I was able to identify the problem of the type of education we give to our children. It is basically British type of education in terms of providing human resources for public office, civil servants, public officers, but not on the productive line. And I've argued severally, why do we need to have somebody with BSc chemistry, BSc biology, BSc whatever? Why not BSc shipbuilding, BSc aeronautic engineering, BSc motor manufacturing, BSc railway manufacturing, railway management, productive. If you have opportunity of going abroad, particularly America, they've moved away from this traditional, way of getting degree. And I have the privilege of being a student at Harvard University. And my professor told me that in the whole of the world, a Nigerian is a different person. They have done studies on us. We are the most confident black people in the world. He said, if you are in a class of Nigerians, they will have memorized all the topics overnight. When you come to the class and you are not sound, Nigerians, we are the only black people who will challenge the professor and defeat him. So we are so confident. So you are lucky to be Nigerians. We never come last anywhere we are. We are the best black ever created by God. And you happen to be one of us. So be proud to be black. Be proud to be Nigerians. Excel and shine. He said, okay, sit down, my brother. Let all the blacks be passing by. When a Nigerian passes by, he will tell me. I don't know how he was able to identify a Nigerian out of the black person. He said, you see this one is a Nigerian. I said, how do you know? He said he walked with confidence. He's never afraid. He doesn't fear white people. Whether you are a professor or you are, he doesn't care. And it shows in his character. So we are a problem to the world. Nigerians, we are a problem to the world. They know one day Nigerians will rule this world. And it's possible. And it's going to happen. And it's going to come from you. The way you behave, the way you study, the way you present yourself as a proud graduate of this great university. That is what is going to reflect on the character of a Nigerian. So let me go to my topic. First, let me appreciate the visitors, the Senate, the management, the staff, and students of Caleb University for inviting me to give a keynote address to this maiden edition of Employability Fair, probably the first of its kind in any university in Nigeria. In our days as students, both at the University of Ibadan and University of Lagos, we never had any opportunity of having direct interaction with our probable or possible employers. So I use this opportunity to thank and appreciate Caleb University on this initiative. I would like to enjoin all graduating students who has an opportunity to go through interview with the corporate bodies present here to take full advantage of the opportunities offered by the presence of these companies, which has accepted to be in your campus today. Apart from being a beneficiary of Nigerian university system, I also had the privilege of serving as a Pro-Chancellor of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. So I will share my experience with you. My view and position and advice is for the management of Caleb University to, in the design of their faculty programs, they should discuss with many chief executives of corporate institutions on the actual type of training and courses required for easier employability of their companies. What I'm saying, my experience as a Pro-Chancellor, you know, on Kopapkwe Road and Lagos Ibadan Express Road, we have several companies there, about 100 of them. And then I initiated a discussion between the management and the owners of those companies. To my surprise, almost everything we are being taught at that universities have no correlation with the industrial policy of those countries, of the companies, to the extent that they rely on the research from their own company to develop their product here. As I now asked them, he said, well, we don't know what they are teaching in your own university. They don't interact with us. They don't ask us questions. They don't integrate their program into our own requirements and needs. It's only when they pass out, they will ask us to give them employment. But you never discuss with us the type of product that are acceptable to our companies. So, I am advising, you have a faculty development department. That department will interact with almost all these companies at the beginning of the session. Look, what type of training must you give to these children that will be suitable for your own company to employ them? And they will tell you the areas of their need. They can even come to the university and assist and give lectures. My second observation is the type of degree offered by university in Nigeria. Most courses in our university does not address the importance of productivity in development Nigeria as a nation. We see tie our courses to the need of civil and public service in Nigeria and not related to industrialization and productivity. The world has moved into area of productivity, not service training. You have to be productive. Can you believe a fashion designer can be a lot more productive than a university graduate? Do you believe somebody who is an hairdresser or a... So this cannot be your last. Go into any of these trades. I've seen a doctor who is a fashion designer and is making more money in that field than medicine. I've seen a lawyer who goes into film making, and in those film making he makes more money. So don't restrict yourself. This one is just the beginning for you to be able to say, yes, I went to university. But try other fields. Try other areas of your interest which can be useful to you in future and develop you more than strict, being a one straightforward graduate. There are so many other things you can do that will make you a lot more useful to our country. The second one is, I had an opportunity to attend a course in public-private partnership at Harvard University. From the presentation of the lecturer, it was clear that government procedure, bureaucracy, corruption, poor initiative cannot enable government funding alone to provide all the infrastructure needed for Nigeria to grow. So this Caleb University should teach our children on the need to partner with government on a private-public partnership. Government alone cannot do most of these things. Private sector to Nigeria now, they are more useful than the public sector. Zenith Bank, UBA, Access Bank, Dangote. We are moving away from public sector performances. In some other countries, we rely more on public sector. But public sector seems to have failed us. And we are now relying more on the private sector. So all of you must understand that the public sector needs the private sector for the country to move forward. So there must be public-private partnership for anything you want to do as a country. The third part of intervention is the area of degree offered by our university. We must move to area of productivity, particularly courses in shipbuilding, aerospace engineering, aircraft design and construction, railway design, construction and production of coaches, petroleum refinery, motor vehicle manufacturing, agric machine production. These are the areas that can assist our country to grow. If you want to at the Harvard too, why can't I have a degree in cocoa production, a degree in cassava production, a degree in cassava planting or rice cultivation? Why must I have a degree that has no correlation with production? If I say I read botany, yes, but if my botany goes into root crop production, rice production, I will be able to be on the field and produce the rice. I cannot imagine a country like Nigeria having problem with food. We have 30 million hectares of land. One state, Niger, is bigger than the entire Southwest. Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, has 10,000 hectares of land. That university can produce enough food for the whole of Ogun State. They have extension facilities of local farmers that they feed with. So, but government is not investing enough in research. Government is not investing enough in production. A country who rely mainly on services, on consumption, and you are not producing, will be in the position we are today. So my emphasis is that let us reorientate our students into area of production, productivity. What can you do with your brain? What can you do with your hand? So that you can produce. Don't say, I will look for employment. But when you get to that company, you have to be trained for another 1 year because they are producing. A company is a production system. You must key into it so that you can produce like them and be useful to yourself and to your country. Finally, let me once again congratulate Caleb University for the maiden and unique program that we are witnessing today. However, let the university start to teach students on production and not service to the companies. I thank you most sincerely for listening. Thank you very much.
With a standing ovation, let's give a round of applause to Senator Hadesheye Ogunlewe. Excel and shine to be productive, that the world has moved to the world of productivity. He advised you to not restrict yourself to just your field, that is just the beginning. Delve into other areas. Learn from other areas of interest. He advised the university to have interactions with owners of industries and companies on the courses that are relevant to the companies and the industry. He made suggestions of some courses that could be introduced into academia, such as railway building, motor building, railway management, cassava and cocoa production, rice plantation, and others. Let's put our hands together once again for Senator. That round of applause is not sufficient. Thank you very much, sir. We are so honored to have you in our midst. While the senator was giving his keynote address, some representatives of some of the companies that we recognized earlier came in. So I'll just quickly run through. Mr. Ephraim Orudaye from Neso, Nigeria. Otumba Shola Enito from Cramwell. And Dr. Fisayo Oyedeji from Financial Care Advisors. Going into the interactions for today, we'll be inviting the CEOs for 10 to 15 minutes interaction. So if you have questions, note those questions. After the 10 to 15 minute interaction with the CEO, we can engage them, which is part of what you made recommendation for yesterday, right? Good. So I'm going to start with these two great CEOs. I'll mention the two names that will be coming up first so that the next person will prepare. I'll be inviting the Managing Director, CEO for Credital, Mr. Abiodun Adams. Coming after him will be the General Manager, the MD of Bank of Industry, Dr. Isa Omagu. So he should get prepared. So let's make welcome Mr. Abiodun Adams, the Managing Director of Credital.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to be speaking very fast because of limited time. So let me quickly share my personal story. In 1994, at Methodist Boys High School, I was in SS1. I failed mathematics, and as a result, I repeated the class. So that's the 1995, the 1996 SS2. I failed mathematics again, amongst all other subjects, because again, if you fail maths or English, you get to repeat a class. Remember, I don't know if it still happens now. Then I went to SS3. I had only a C in accounting. I think I had all the other papers, either D or F or whatever. So the next year, I restarted SSC, and then I wrote GCE, and I failed both. The third year again, I wrote and I failed. In fact, in those days, we used to write, they will say they have Expo, we write it all over the body, go inside, you still fail. So after, that was in 1999, my dad said, Biodun, it seems you cannot pass. So go and look for a trade, maybe something you can learn. But I said no. So I started working. I think I worked tantalizers. I started working all over the place. So after about 4 or 5 years, I think my younger brother had already finished at Yaba Tech then. One of the, Mr. Ali, I think the chief marketing officer at Tantalizers, he just called me and said, Biodun, you are the head of waiters. As in, I was working as a waiter, pack the plates, when people finish eating, clear the plates, wash it. You are the head of, you are very smart. Why are you not in school? I said, sir, I don't know book. I can't pass. He said, no, you are very smart. It's because you're not putting in effort. I bought JAMB and then the PCE, that's Polytechnic. And that's how I managed to pass the Polytechnic exam, and I gained admission to Moshood Abiyala Polytechnic. But, it's only a madman that will continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. It just dawned on me that it seems I need to really, because why have I been failing? Who knows why I've been failing? I've been failing because I have not been studying. It is not possible for you to write an exam that you didn't read the text or the syllabus for. And luckily for me, the first day of school, that's at Moshood Abiyala Polytechnic, some guys came out and said they are from the Achievers Club, and they invited us to join their tutorial class. And on the first day of me going for that tutorial class, somebody came out and said, if you have maths and English, you can write ATS. That's for an examination. And I remember going to my dad, Daddy, I want to write ATS. My dad is an accountant, by the way. He said, Biodun, it is not possible. You cannot pass. There's no expo in ICANN. So I came back home. Luckily, like I said, I've been working for years, so I had money. I bought the form myself, and I put in the work. I started studying. It was very difficult at first, because I don't know how to memorize. I started studying, and I passed ATS1. And my dad from then took over paying for ICANN, because things are different. In fact, I spent 3.5 years in the Polytechnic instead of 5. You're supposed to do ND1, ND2, go for IT, and then come back. But at ND2 first semester, I'd already passed ATS 1, 2, 3. And with your ATS, you can do your HND. Where am I going with all this? Everybody is smart. Everybody is brilliant. There's no one that is dull. That dull word, it doesn't exist. If you give me the dullest person here that I think is dull and agree to do whatever I say, that person will become the best student here. Because if I ask you now that what is right here, what am I looking at on my phone? Does anybody know what I'm looking at on my phone right now? Why is that? Because you have not seen it. But imagine you have your syllabus, you have your textbooks, you attend class, and you put in the work to study. It is not possible for you not to pass. That's why you see doctors still become chartered accountants. You still become a lawyer. I'm sure you've seen people like that. A single person that is a doctor, a medical doctor, that's a chartered accountant, that's also a lawyer. That's because we have the capacity to study anything and we understand. Now, for you to be successful, all of us here, you know that it's never too late. I think it was at 30 years old that I became a graduate. But someone became a graduate at 21. Some of us here might have third class or might even be repeating a session. But that doesn't mean that your future cannot be bright. What it means is that you have to go back, have a rethought, and determine in your heart to put in the work, and then your success story will start. If you are 50 years old and you are not successful, your success story can start even at how old? Even at 80. My point is that it is never too late for anyone. That is that. Now, all of you are graduating, or you are already graduated already. Congratulations once again. Please know for a fact that some of you might get married this year. Some of you will never enter a classroom again. This probably will be your last education. Some of you will go for NYSC maybe this year or next year, and you will meet your husband or your wife there. Some of you will get a job today. Some of you will never work for anyone, and you start your entrepreneurial journey today. My point is that all of us, in fact, some of you might never see each other again, because some of you might be relocating tomorrow. My point is that all of us have different, walks of life ahead of us, and all of us have the potential to take each of those journeys and be successful with it. I don't know if you get what I just said. The person that marries tomorrow can still be successful. The person that never enters a classroom again can still be successful, and every other thing I've said. But how will you be successful? It is by doing one or two of the following things I'm about to say. Number one, understanding that you must always have the spirit of continuous learning. Now, continuous learning necessarily does not mean that you have to go to school again, even though it's also good. It could be that you are studying. There are a lot of textbooks. There are a lot of books that you can read that helps you develop. We have different ideas about what we want to be in future. There are books that addresses each of those things. Now, the more we learn, the more we enhance the ability, the possibility for us to be successful. That's number one. Number two, whether we like it or not, how do I even put this? Do you know how many universities are in Nigeria? Do you know how many people are graduating every day? So not everyone will get a job. But what will help you get a job? It's about the knowledge you have acquired. What is in you? At the interviews you're going to be having today, people are going to be, I'm not sure anybody's going to be asking you, what is accounting? What are the factors of production? What are the 14 principles of Henry for you? Nah. But probably not going to be asking you those questions. They're going to be asking you questions that will make you think. And then what you are going to say is going to impact on how we see you as a problem solver. Because trust me, what we are looking for are people, individuals that can solve problems that we have in our businesses. Because our businesses are created to solve problems. So we need people that can join us to solve those problems. Yes, all those things that I just mentioned, what is accounting, all those things, they are important things that we think you should know. But again, we want to understand how you think. Are you, what's your thought process like? So we're going to be asking you questions, that is going to make you think and then make you open your mouth and procure solutions or give us ideas of what you think should be the solution. Now, there's probably no wrong answer or no right answer, but we want to see that you're able to think and be able to give us, rough sketch work of what you think a solution will look like. The question is, are you prepared for that? Now, even if you are not prepared for that, how can you prepare yourself for that? Because again, this is not your last chance. This is just the beginning. You know, the future is so bright. The question is, how prepared are you for that future? And even if you're not prepared now, you can prepare this evening, you can prepare tomorrow. So I just want to charge you that your education is not over. Don't think, finally, I have finished. No more studying. But it's free. No. This is just the beginning. When it comes to academics, there's still your master's to do. There's still a second degree to do. There's still professional qualifications to acquire. And even if you don't do any of those, there are still a lot of books that will enhance you as an individual, that will help you as an individual to be able to face the challenges of the world, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's at work, even in marriage. You'll be surprised, some people are already reading books about marriage, preparing themselves for when they will meet the person that they're going to spend the rest of their lives with. Some people are reading books to prepare themselves to be a good wife to their husband. Some people are already reading books to prepare themselves to be a good parent to their future